chaos for UsTrotting. Our Hambletonian Contenders Tour continued. We make our last stop and catch up with trainer Carter Pinske as he talked about his two horses going into the Grade 1 finals on Saturday, Aperfect in the Oaks and Go Dog Go in the Hambletonian. Carter, good morning. It's so good to see you as you've made a really aggressive drive back from Lexington. Trouble with the flights, but it's good to see you here in New Jersey. Happy Hambo week.
Yeah, it's good to finally be here. I don't know, 4 or 5 different canceled flights, but Marcus Johansson and Chris Ryder and us, we just hopped in a rental car and just drove overnight. So I don't know, I'm glad we're here.
Yeah, for sure. Now, let's just talk about you real quick. You graduated college just a couple years ago. You said you're going to take over the training duties full-time for your family back there in 2020, 2021. Only 29 years old. You make your first Hambletonian and Hambletonian Oaks appearance. How are you feeling?
You know, it's really special. You know, from a family that has, you know, mainly a pacing background, I've always just loved the trotters, you know, coming up with Andy and Julie and Nifty. Kind of transitioned my family into the trotters, and you know, this is what we strive for in the trotting you know, breed, and it's really special to, you know, be in my 20s and have a shot at it at all. So you know, I'm really excited for the weekend.
Last year in 2024, of course, was your best season to date. 34 wins, over $1.6 million in earnings. Now Go Dog Go and Aperfect are big contributors to that.
Yeah, you know, and that's the key ingredient to any trainer's success, is just to have good horses, and you know, they make trainers look good. So you know, I'm fortunate to have good owners, good horses, and hopefully we keep moving forward.
Now, after their season last year, coming in here to 2025, did you know you'd be standing here getting into those finals on Saturday?
You know, I had hope, and you know, you put a little pressure on the horses. You have the expectation, but you know, it's always the same. You have to have luck, and you know, the horses have to live up to the expectation. So, you know, I had hope that we'd be here, but I never expected. It's you know, it's a humbling experience, and hopefully we can do some good.
Let's start with the filly Aperfect, of course. Drew post 7, not our best draw going into the Oaks there. Take us through her start. Was racing really well. Take us through her starts from June through that elimination last week.
Yeah, you know, the filly raced tough all year last year. She had a big season right from the get-go. Raced June all the way into November. So I wanted to be lightly raced, you know, coming up to this week. Had a little bit of a hang-up in the Del Miller there. She started the year excellent. Was in really good form. Ended up scoping a little bit of sick, a little bit of blood after the Del Miller. But we got her, you know, cleaned up, and you know, she's back moving the direction we want her to, and I think we're sitting on a pretty good mile. So hopefully she's in form in time, you know. So.
Post 7 is the worst that she's drawn so far in 2025. Not a good draw, but any extra big concerns for her? Do you think it's going to be a little bit more of an uphill battle?
Not really. I mean, she's an underdog. Going for 500, you never know how it's going to shake out. I think she won the final in Kentucky last year from the 8 hole. So I mean, she can do it. She's got gate speed. You know, Todd knows her. He's about the only person that's driven her. I think maybe Marvin drove her one start, but you know, he knows the filly, and hopefully it just shakes out in our favor.
Now, coming out to the farm this morning, you're towing both Aperfect and Go Dog Go. What's the story there?
Yeah, you know, Nifty. Obviously, that's pretty much who I owe all my, you know, all the credit goes to him. But he's just that's his style. You know, it's kind of the down under way, but it just seems to kind of keep him quiet, keep him happy, and let them be horses. You know, so you know, it kind of keeps them fresh too mentally, and we try and, you know, mix up their week that way.
Moving on to the colt, Go Dog Go. What a nice colt he is. He just loves to do his job.
Yeah, he's turned into a real professional, and you know, I give Nifty a lot of credit coming up here last year. We worked together, you know, pretty much all year. But you know, the horse I was obviously down in Lexington. We had a few hiccups, and you know, I think getting him into a routine up here and changing, you know, kind of changing up his routine. And this year coming back, you know, I shipped him up from Florida. And he's just been great. He's really turned into a good racehorse. He knows his job. Really fun horse to be around. He's smart, you know, for a stud colt. He's you know, he just enjoys work, and he's not, you know, he's full of himself, but he's not, you know, he's not annoying or anything like that. He really likes it. So.
This year he was perfect heading into that elimination last week. Third, tell me how you felt, how he fared in that elimination, and how you think he'll be in this final going on Saturday.
Yeah, I wasn't real pleased with how he was handled the tension. He's a real anxious horse, when you change stuff around. So I think this week we should be a little bit better shape. Just kind of we know what to expect. He knows what to expect. Anytime you have a trotter that trots 51.26 on the end of it, it's hard to be disappointed. But he just didn't have that swell up and kick like he's had previously. We found a few things that I think we should have cleaned up. And like I said, if we get him settled a little bit better in detention, I'm hoping we're sitting on coming back how we were before last start. So
Draw God's certainly not in our favor. He draws post 10. What do you think would be the ideal trip for him in there? And like you said, those consistent 26 quarters of the end makes him a big threat.
Yeah, the race has to shake up from the outside. The race has to shake up in our favor. I'm not going to tell Todd what to do. That's up to him. But we're going for $1 million. Everybody's going to be going for it. Obviously there's some entries in there that there's going to be maybe a little bit of team racing. I don't know, but it's going to shake up and hopefully it shakes up in our favor. And we have a kick on the end and we have some clearance in the road.
Any changes for either of them going into those finals?
No, I'm thinking about closing Go Dog up just a little bit. They've both been racing open bridles. I'm thinking about closing Go Dog up, but we'll see how he warms up and see how he acts in detention and stuff like that. But shoeing and everything, we're going to stay the same.
Carter, we're so glad we were able to catch up with you in person and you made it back for those finals tomorrow. We wish you continued success and, of course, best of luck.
Thank you.